Most people speak with words, but the truth, it's always silent. You don't need magic to read minds, just the power of awareness. One blink, one pause, one subtle shift, and the whole story unfolds. Mastering body language is not a trick, it's a weapon. The greatest warriors don't talk much, they observe. If you miss these signals, you miss everything. Let me show you how to see what others can't. If you want to truly understand someone, you must first realize one thing: the body never lies. What the mouth conceals, the body reveals. Again and again, in the quiet moments between words, in the tension behind a smile, or in the stillness of the shoulders, you begin to see what is really happening inside a person. We live in a world obsessed with talking, with explaining, with proving, but very few learn the deeper art, the quieter art, the powerful skill of observation. The body is the echo of the mind. If the mind is clear, the body reflects it. If the mind is in chaos, the body cannot hide it. This is a law of nature, not an idea, not a belief. When you learn to observe people without judgment, without reacting, you start to hear what is never said. And in those moments, truth rises from silence. Every movement, every gesture carries intention. When someone stands with their arms crossed, what are they really doing? Protecting, guarding, shielding? When someone leans forward during a conversation, they are drawn to you. But when they lean back, they are distancing themselves. Their body is speaking, and yet most people miss it because they are busy thinking of what to say next, busy proving their point. And to read the mind, you must become still first. You must become the observer, not the performer, not the speaker, not the one needing attention. You must be like water, silent but aware. When you walk into a room, observe how people sit, how they hold their posture, how they breathe. You will begin to notice who is relaxed and who is forcing confidence, who is truly open and who is hiding something behind their words. A man who truly understands this does not rush to respond. He listens, not only with his ears, but with his whole body. He sees the tremble in the hand, the tightening of the jaw, the quick glance to the side before speaking, and he does not judge these things, he understands them. Because once you truly observe people, you realize we are all carrying something. The body is simply trying to cope with it. The beauty of this skill lies in its simplicity. You do not need advanced psychology, you do not need books, you need presence. Complete, total presence. When someone talks to you, be there, fully, not in your head, not thinking, not comparing, not planning, just there. And suddenly everything changes. Their body begins to tell you things, their energy becomes visible. Watch the feet. If someone's feet are pointed toward the door, even if they are smiling and nodding, it means they want to leave. The body is already halfway out the conversation. Watch the hands. When someone touches their face, often during a sentence, they may be uncertain, nervous. Their body is soothing itself. When someone's shoulders rise while they speak, it often means tension, fear, discomfort. You do not need to say anything, just see it and understand. You begin to realize that most people are not dishonest intentionally, they are simply afraid to reveal too much. They speak to cover vulnerability, but their body cannot follow the act. Their body remains loyal to truth. This is why it is such a powerful tool for those who are disciplined enough to use it, not to manipulate, but to understand. Discipline is the key. Without it, your mind will keep running. It will interpret everything through your own emotions, your own biases, and you will miss what is really there. To read others clearly, your own mind must be still. If you are filled with noise, you will only project that noise onto the people you observe. You will not see them, you will only see yourself in them. This is why the monk trains not just in movement but in stillness, not just in strength but in awareness. Every punch in training is also a lesson in focus. Every breath in meditation is a preparation for deeper perception. The body of another person is not a puzzle to solve. It is a mirror reflecting their experience, and only a silent mind can see it clearly. In daily life you will encounter many masks. People wear them all the time. Confidence, joy, peace. But behind those masks are small cracks, a hesitation, a stiffness in the neck, a flicker in the eyes. When you become sensitive to these signs, you no longer fall for appearances. You begin to feel energy, not just posture, not just expressions, but the subtle energy that lives underneath. The path of awareness is a lonely one at times, because the more you see, the more you realize how little others notice. But it is also a path of great power. Once you can read a room in silence, once you can understand tension without a word, once you can feel truth before it is spoken, you move differently, you speak less, but your presence says more. Let go of the need to be right, let go of the need to respond, and learn the power of seeing people not through the lens of emotion, but through the discipline of awareness. Train your senses, not just your body. Train your attention, not just your strength, because true understanding does not come from listening to words. It comes from listening to silence. You do not need to chase people. You do not need to impress them. When you can read their body, you already know what they need, what they fear, what they truly want. And this gives you an advantage, not to dominate, but to serve. Not to win, but to connect. The path is simple. Observe, listen, be still, and the body will reveal everything you need to know. Now begin. They say the eyes are the window to the soul, but if you truly pay attention, you'll realize the eyes are not just a window, they are the doorway to truth. The kind of truth that can't be spoken, the kind of truth that slips out before the mind can hide it. This is where your training must go deeper, beyond the surface, beyond the shape of a smile or the tone of a voice, because the mind can lie, but the eyes never do. When a person speaks, their eyes are already revealing what the voice is trying to cover. They may be calm in tone, but their eyes are flickering left and right, constantly looking for safety, for approval, for escape. And if you are not fully present, you miss it. But once you develop the habit of watching, not just hearing, you begin to notice something remarkable. The eyes speak their own language, and it is far more honest than any words ever spoken. The person who is unsure does not look down because of humility. They do it out of fear. When they look down or away after answering a question, it is often not a sign of modesty. It is a sign of internal conflict, of something unspoken. If their eyes constantly shift, they are not grounded. They are scanning, searching, uncertain of where to place their attention. And when someone avoids eye contact altogether, especially in key moments of truth, it is often not out of respect, it is avoidance of being seen. But there is another side to this as well. When someone holds your gaze with a soft presence, not out of defiance, not to challenge, but simply to be there fully, you can feel it. They are not afraid to be seen. They are not building walls or hiding shadows. They are simply present. This is rare and powerful because it shows alignment between body, mind, and spirit. Learning to read the eyes is not about technique. It is about stillness. Your own stillness. You cannot read another's gaze if your own attention is scattered. You must calm your own mind to see clearly. Otherwise you are just reacting to your own stories, your own filters, your own emotions, and that is not awareness, that is projection. To master this awareness, you begin by watching, without trying to interpret. Just watch the movement of the eyes, the speed, the stillness, the avoidance or the directness, and most importantly, the tension or the ease behind the gaze. When someone is at peace, Their eyes do not dart, they do not try to control the space, they are simply there, breathing, present, not reaching, not hiding. And yet when someone is nervous, the eyes are the first place it shows, blinking rapidly, not holding eye contact or holding it too long in a forced way and then breaking it quickly. These are signals not of the words being spoken, but of what is being felt inside. The eyes are like a river. They carry what the heart feels before the person even knows it. In many martial arts traditions, it is said that before a punch is thrown, the eyes already betray the intention. This is not superstition, it is awareness. A master can see the intention in the body before the move begins, and the eyes are the clearest sign if the opponent is unsure. Their gaze reveals it. If they hesitate for even a fraction, you see it, and you adjust, not through reaction but through calm perception. This is true not only in combat, but in every interaction in life. You walk into a room, you greet someone, their words may be polite, but their eyes give away what they are holding inside. Maybe stress, maybe joy, maybe discomfort. And if you are present, you can adjust, not by changing yourself, but by meeting them where they are, with awareness and stillness. There is great power in being able to see what others do not. Most people are not trained to watch the eyes. They are too busy waiting for their turn to speak, too busy trying to be interesting instead of being interested, and so they miss. You must become silent inside. If you wish to read clearly outside when someone looks at you, do not look away, out of habit. Do not stare out of force. Simply be there, fully feel what their eyes are trying to tell you. Sometimes the words are cheerful, but the gaze is heavy. It carries pain. It carries fatigue. It carries something deeper than words can touch. And that is when your presence becomes medicine. Not your advice, not your cleverness, just your presence. The eyes are always asking a question, even when the mouth is telling a story. Am I safe? Can I trust you? Can you see me? These are the questions behind every gaze. And if you can feel these questions and answer them not with words but with stillness, then you have begun to understand what it means to read truth. And remember this truth. Seen through the eyes must never be used to judge, it must be used to understand. You do not read people to outsmart them. You read to connect. You observe to build bridges, not walls, to bring clarity, not control. Because this is the way of the disciplined, the way of those who walk the higher path. Let the eyes teach you, and let your own eyes be clean. If your gaze is filled with tension, with insecurity, with ego, you will not see truth. You will distort it. Purify your own vision, not just physically, but energetically. With every breath, with every moment of awareness, you become more clear, and from clarity comes wisdom. Train this every day, not in moments of importance, but in the ordinary. In your conversations, in your silence, in the mirror. When you look at yourself, can you hold your own gaze without judgment, without shame? Can you meet your own eyes with calm? If you cannot do that, then start there, because the world outside will always reflect the world within. The one who can read the eyes walks into any space with quiet confidence, not needing to speak loudly, not needing to prove anything, just present. And this presence is felt without force, without effort, because truth does not need noise, it needs stillness. In a world filled with noise, the most powerful signals are the ones hidden in silence. Most people believe that the truth is always in what is said, but those who observe with depth know the truth hides in what is not said. A person can speak for hours, yet still be hiding everything the moment they fall silent. That is where their truth begins to leak out. Silence is not emptiness. It is expression for those who know how to listen. When someone pauses before answering, it is not always thoughtfulness. It can be uncertainty. It can be fear. It can be the mind scrambling to find something that sounds acceptable, even though the heart is not in agreement. Hesitation is a signal, and in every interaction where hesitation exists, you have an opening to see what lies beneath. The discipline of observation is not about the dramatic, it is about the subtle. Most people are trained to listen to words and take them at face value, but this is surface level. A disciplined mind listens to energy, to tension, to presence and absence. And silence is the most powerful absence of all. When a question is asked and the person goes still, even just for a moment, that stillness is rich with meaning. Why the pause? Why the shift in breathing? Why the sudden glance away or down? Why does the room suddenly feel different? This is the art of feeling energy, not with emotion but with awareness. Silence is not lack, it is data. A person who goes quiet while the topic changes may be carrying emotional weight about it. Or they may be trying to suppress something. Their body is willing to release, but their mouth is not. And the body speaks through that silence. The posture begins to change. The breath becomes shallow or deep. The eyes may glaze over or become sharp. A clenched jaw, a tightened hand, a sudden shift in weight. None of these come with sound, but all of them come with meaning. They are part of the second conversation, the one most people miss. The key is to resist the urge to fill silence with your own words. Most people are uncomfortable with silence because they are uncomfortable with what it might reveal. They rush to end it because silence demands presence and presence demands courage. But if you stay in it, if you remain calm, if you allow that space to exist, something powerful happens. The truth begins to emerge, not always spoken, sometimes just felt. There is also silence that speaks of peace. When a person is comfortable with their silence, it shows strength. When two people can sit together without speaking and still feel connection, that is alignment, not absence, but presence. Most people talk to cover their discomfort, but the wise speak only when silence has said enough. To truly read people, you must watch what happens between the words. You must become sensitive to the rhythm of conversation. When someone suddenly breaks eye contact, when they fidget, when they pause too long or not at all. These are not mistakes, they are signals. A person who answers too quickly may be rehearsed. A person who takes too long may be constructing something, not recalling something. Every conversation is a dance between spoken and unspoken, and silence is the space where the real steps take place. It is not about how loud someone speaks or how persuasive their words are. It is about what their pauses reveal, where they retreat, where they hold tension, and where they release it. Imagine sitting with someone who says all the right things, but every few seconds their body stiffens, their hands tighten, their breath becomes inconsistent. Would you believe their words or would you trust their silence? Because silence is honest. It is not filtered, it is not filtered. You must train yourself to feel this, to recognize the way silence shows up in different people. Some people go quiet when they are angry, not because they are calm, but because they are trying not to explode. Others go silent because they are thinking, others because they are afraid. If they speak, they will reveal something they are not ready to share. And your job is not to guess, but to feel, not to judge, but to observe. Become still enough inside so you can stay present in those moments of silence. If your own mind is noisy, you will miss the signals, you will rush to speak, you will break the moment, and the truth will retreat again. Your stillness creates a space where the other person can unfold. Sometimes when someone says something and then immediately goes quiet, they are watching your reaction. They are measuring if it is safe to continue, if you are reactive or distracted. they will close again. But if you remain grounded, if you stay open and silent, they will often continue. Not because you asked, but because they felt seen. This is a deep skill to hold space without needing to fill it, to allow silence to do the work, to let the other person reveal themselves without force and without pressure. Because the greatest understanding comes not when you speak, but when you witness. In martial arts, timing is everything. Not just the punch, but the pause before the punch. In communication, the same law applies. The silence between words, the breath before the sentence, the stillness after the answer. These are not empty. They are where the real information lives. And remember, not all silence needs to be filled. Some silence is sacred. Some silence carries healing. Then go silent. Do not rush to comfort them. Let the silence hold them. Because sometimes presence says more than words ever could. You are not here to impress with cleverness. You are here to master awareness, and silence is the final test. Can you stay centered when nothing is being said? Can you remain open when others are retreating? Can you hear what is not being spoken? If so, then you are no longer just listening, you are perceiving. Do not fear silence. It is your ally. It is your teacher. In it you will see what words cannot reveal, and in it you will find the depth that most people never reach. Now move forward with presence. Every movement tells a story, but most are too distracted to see it. What a person does when they are not trying to impress you, what their body does in the moments they forget, they are being observed. This is the truth you must learn to see. While the words are crafted, the movements are automatic, and automatic gestures are reflections of the inner state. The way someone walks, the way they sit, the way they hold their shoulders or tilt their head, this is the language that reveals everything. True awareness is born not from staring, but from soft focus. You do not force observation. You let it happen naturally. You train yourself to be still. And in that stillness you begin to notice the rhythm of motion in others. A person whose gestures are sharp and fast is usually tense. Inside, someone who moves slowly but with control is often centered, balanced, present. But someone who moves quickly without awareness, who fidgets constantly, who touches their face, scratches their neck or crosses their arms while speaking, they are often guarding something, hiding something. When a person speaks with their hands, notice where their palms face. Palms open and visible often suggest openness, honesty, willingness. Palms hidden or down suggest control, defense, protection. Someone wrapping their fingers around themselves or locking them tight is often trying to hold something in, sometimes emotion, sometimes fear. You must not stare at these gestures, you must feel them. Allow them to pass through your awareness without needing to name them, and over time, patterns will begin to emerge. A person leaning in too close is often trying to push their presence onto you, maybe for connection, maybe to dominate, while someone who leans back too far may be distancing emotionally, checking out, preparing to disconnect from the conversation. When you say something important and the person shifts away even slightly, that is feedback. And when they shift closer without speaking, that is also feedback. Look at the legs. The way someone sits or stands reveals more than their mouth ever could. Crossed legs. Pointing away from you or toward the door is a signal of retreat, even if their smile stays present. Legs planted firmly, facing you, shoulders relaxed, body open. These are signs of presence, of engagement, of trust. You do not have to memorize all these cues. You only have to feel their consistency. One gesture may mean nothing, but when repeated with others, when part of a pattern, the meaning becomes clear. Just like in nature, when a tree leans, it is because of the wind. When a body leans, it is because of emotion. Watch the breath, not just whether someone is breathing fast or slow, but where they breathe. from shallow breathing from the chest is usually tied to stress. Deeper breath from the belly shows calm. This is why before you can read others, you must learn to control your own breath, because your energy affects theirs. If you are scattered, you project noise, and noise blocks clarity. But if your breath is calm, your presence is calming, and from that calmness, people reveal themselves naturally. Eye movement, facial twitches, shoulder tension, these are not mistakes, they are signatures. They are signals from the nervous system before the conscious mind can interfere. Someone lifts their eyebrows slightly after hearing your words. It might be surprise or challenge. Someone smiles only with their mouth and not their eyes. That is not joy, that is politeness. Someone clenches their jaw when you speak about a certain topic. That is not coincidence, that is reaction. But your job is not to label, your job is to perceive. When you label, you stop observing. When you remain open, you keep learning, because people are always revealing themselves, not in grand gestures but in small repeated signals. The way they turn their body, the way they scratch their arm when a difficult subject comes up, the way they adjust their shirt or rub their neck when nervous energy rises. All of it is data. And most importantly, never focus on one sign, look for harmony or conflict. When the voice says yes but the head slightly shakes no, there is contradiction. When someone laughs but their eyes look away or their body tightens, there is discomfort. When someone says they are fine but they keep adjusting their seat, there is resistance. This is not about becoming suspicious, it is about becoming conscious. It is not about finding lies. It is about feeling alignment or misalignment and acting from that awareness. This is how trust is built. Not through words alone, but through the sense that you are being seen and understood beyond words. In martial arts, the body cannot lie. If there is tension, it will show in the shoulders, in the stance, in the way the punch lands. And in life, it is the same. The emotional punch always lands somewhere on the body, and the body always responds. If you learn to observe these responses, you are not guessing, you are sensing. And sensing is faster than thinking. It is direct. You will find that when you master the ability to read these micro movements, people begin to feel your presence more deeply. Not because you are saying more, but because you are seeing more. They may not even know what it is, but they feel it. They feel that they cannot hide around you. And strangely, this brings them peace, because they no longer need to pretend. But this gift must be handled with care. You must not use it to manipulate. You must use it to connect. When someone is anxious, do not expose it. Hold space for it. When someone is hiding pain, do not force it out. Remain still and allow them to arrive at their own timing. Your observation is not an interrogation, it is an invitation, an open space for truth to emerge. Let your own body be honest. Let your movements match your intention. Let your posture reflect discipline and calm. Because before you read others, you must first be readable yourself. If your body language contradicts your words, if your presence is chaotic, you cannot see others clearly because your reflection distorts the image. This is why every gesture matters, not because others are watching, but because every gesture is a signal to yourself. When you walk with intention, when you speak with clarity, when your hands move with purpose, your whole being aligns, and from that alignment your awareness sharpens. Remember, you are always reading and always being read. Do not fear this. Do not hide from it. Embrace it. Let it refine you. Let it deepen your understanding of people. And in that understanding, you will find compassion. And in compassion, you will find strength. Now begin again from stillness. Reading body language is not a trick. It is a discipline. A monk does not learn to listen with the ears only. He learns to listen with his whole being.